everybody, Coach Ben here at ASAT Fitness. Today we're going to talk about this front rack position. And we've talked about mobilizing a little bit in the last couple weeks of how we can get a better front rack position with the barbell. But anytime if you've ever front squatted or cleaned and your coach comes up to you and says, hey, elbows up, you're always like, you always tell me that. What's the point? What's the purpose behind this cue of elbows up? Or maybe a coach has some other cue of, but the whole purpose of it is to get these elbows up nice and high. So we have our barbell, okay, and we're in this front rack position. So one reason we say to get those elbows up nice and high is we want that barbell to sit on the body, sit on our shoulders. If I were to take my hands away, that bar sits on my shoulders, okay? Now, for those of you that don't have great wrist or shoulder mobility, when you're doing your front squats or your cleans, you're holding the bar out here in front, which puts all this extra pressure on your wrist, which isn't good. We want to be able to have the bar sit on our body. Just like we would with a back squat, that bar rests on our back. With a front squat, we want that bar to rest on the front of our body. And with our elbows up, that helps bring the bar onto our shoulders, so our whole skeletal frame, our whole body can hold all that weight that you're going to be front squatting. Also, another thing, when our elbows are up, our torso is vertical. All right, our torso right here is nice and vertical, and that's what we're looking for. If we're doing a front squat and our elbows are down, a lot of times that bar is going to slide forward and we're going to fall forward. So if we get into the bottom of a front squat and our elbows are down, okay, we're probably falling in half. But if we raise our elbows, our torso becomes a little more vertical and it's easier to stand up. Let's look at a couple quick front squats and analyze how having our elbows nice and high helps.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at a few good front squats where you have the elbows up nice and high, which allows us to keep our torso nice and vertical and allows us to open up our hips really nicely as we're coming up out of the bottom. So good front squats, but then we start to see what happens after these good ones where those elbows start to drop, our torso starts to come forward, and that bar could slide forward, makes it harder to open up our hips and stand that bar up. Now we'll notice sometimes this happens when we get stuck in the bottom, our elbows go down, but if we lift our elbows up, our torso becomes a little more vertical and it makes it a little easier for us to open up our hips.